Okay, so you're officially, well, you were residents of Minnesota, I guess, before, but you've moved into your new home.
Yeah.
You've been there for a little over a year now. What do you hate or like least about where you live?
About where we live?
Yeah.
And that could be Minnesota.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be your neighborhood.
Doesn't have to be the house specifically, but yeah, the Twin Cities.
We're fairly close to 62 crosstown. And though for us, it's not, I mean, okay, you live in a metropolitan area, like there's noise, right? There's always noise. And
That's
We're dealing with it as we speak.
But my only concern, and this is not something that I know is happening or if it will ever happen, is if they ever expand 62 and make it wider, it'll make it closer to us. And that may be a downfall because the closer you get, because we're like, the closer you get to it, obviously, the louder it is. But other than that, location wise, no, I really don't. I mean, there are things about the house that I'm like, but that's more so knowing it going into it. Like, we knew the kitchen was smaller. I knew that. And I was like, it'll be fine. And now that we're in it and living in it, we're like, I cannot wait to make this kitchen bigger.
Yeah.
But the beauty is like, we've got a great sized lot and like, we've got the ability to put an addition on like every other 1950s house has.
Yeah.
On the back of it where they put either a family room or something. So, but other than that, I mean, no, to be totally blunt and honest, like I could live there forever. I really could.
That's awesome.
I just love it.
That's good.
That's great.
I don't know how he feels, but
Hey, you got any thoughts on what you hate the most?
you're not going to hurt my feelings.
No, for the most part, I think I feel the same. Sometimes I'm like, this little house, just because of my height,
Sure.
Not necessarily the ceiling heights, but the thresholds are not built for a 6'3" human. But it's not, I don't think any of them are nothing we can't potentially change. But the neighborhood, I think, and I credit this to Shelby for saying all the time, is that you can change the house, but you can't change the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not easily, anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that's
With decades of like effort, maybe, Yeah, that's cool. What do you like the most? And it could be about Minnesota or whatever, but probably let's stick to the spot. Like the single thing you like the most about the Armatage neighborhood.
I love the proximity to things.
Yeah.
It makes it super easy if I want to honestly, if we want to come downtown, it's so easy to get on 35. It's so easy to get on 100. It's so easy to get places.
Yeah.
Where we're at specifically. Like it's so conveniently located. But then too, it's like, it's a mature neighborhood. So I mean, you've got these big, beautiful trees and we're lucky we're on a corner lot, though we're in.
She doesn't shovel in the winter though. So.
Corner lot. Yeah. That's what came to mind actually for me. Yeah.
Okay, well, you offer. So, but no, God, you made me lose my train of thought now. Anyway.
The mature trees. Developed neighborhood or kind of.
Yeah. It's just a great little spot.
Yeah, cool.
It's
a great little pocket of the Twin Cities. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, we've really lucked out with our neighbors. Granted, again, we're on a corner lot, so we have one neighbor, but our whole block everyone's been super awesome. Heard some nightmare stories out there. Love the house, love the neighborhood. Sure. Neighbors are not great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we lucked out there. And I think safety too. I feel very, very safe in our neighborhood, especially with a little guy.
Yeah.
Our little 2.5-year-old.
It's really just like training him to not run.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Like really, that's the hardest thing. For the most part, I feel like there are families, there are people who've been in their houses in our neighborhood for 30 plus years. You've got some people who just moved in or whatever. You've got a combination of people and everybody is really like, we've been there for a year and we went on a walk the other day while our son was still at daycare and our neighbor's like, where's the little guy? Like, where's your son? And it's like, so like they know, it feels very much like a community in the sense of like, they know, I'm sure people are probably like watching, right? As you would, right? You want to watch for people and like.
Or even just noticing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Noticing is the better word. But it's just nice to almost feel like we were welcomed with open arms, right? Because people are just like, oh, hey, how's it going? How's this? How's that? We love what you're doing with the place. It looks so nice. It's just.
That's nice to hear because we actually, it's fairly frequently joke about the Minnesota nice thing not really being kind of a canard or not being exactly what people would expect. But yeah, everything that you're describing, not that you're saying that it's because it's Minnesota, but there's that element of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think that everyone who has a house or a home or a condo or wherever you live, you want to feel welcome there. And so to just kind of like come into the neighborhood and people be like, oh, hi, how are you? You guys bought down, and actually have conversations with you about, you're the new people, right?
That's awesome.
So it's like, it's kind of nice to just feel a part of the neighborhood immediately.
And sort of brought in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, especially people who've been there for over 30 years. It's like,
yeah. I'm sure they've seen like the turnover.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
People who have been, speaking from experience, there is like a sense of ownership that people who've been there for a super long time can feel about like the entire neighborhood. But yeah, to be welcomed is
a huge part.
Very nice feeling. I got a quick question. I'm a little curious. Has your impression of the Twin Cities in general changed? Because you guys lived here and then moved away and then came back. Has anything changed about your impression of just like either Minnesota or the cities in general?
I have one.
Go.
That is always top of mind. Minneapolis and the Twin Cities in general is very clean. You might not think that every day, but you go to other cities and the street sweeping is simply just to dole out parking tickets. They don't actually clean the streets. It's one thing that I've definitely taken for granted of the Twin Cities is how clean it is.
That's interesting. I feel like you've almost been given perspective by leaving.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Of like, oh.
Very much so.
Yeah.
110%.
Yeah.
We also take for granted, I think, all the trees and the greenery we have as well. It's honestly kind of amazing to watch, some of your videos and you have those overhead shots.
It's
Like,
crazy.
wow, look at all the right. Are there even houses down there? You can't tell.
Actually, this is kind of inside baseball, but we were figuring out thumbnails to do for this podcast, and we made a few, and we were just like, man, it's okay. And then what we ended up on, we realized we put more blue in the background, and it was because next to all of the thumbnails that are actually of the city, anything without blue looked very strange because there's blue in all of the thumbnails because there's water everywhere.
Interesting.
It's always a drone shot with a title. And so, when it was like anything that didn't, it was just like, why does this look funny? Like, why does this look so jarring next to that? So we put blue in the background of the thumbnail because it fits in,